Lucifer Morningstar is one of the most powerful and feared beings in the DC universe, first appearing in The Sandman by Neil Gaiman. As a primordial being, Morningstar played a key role in the creation of the DC universe as we know it. But to understand his origin, we need to go all the way back to before the DC universe even existed. Morningstar was originally an angel known as Samael, one of the two demiurgic archangels, the highest tier of angels created by the Presence, the god of the DC universe. The other angel was his twin brother Michael. Together they possessed divine power and were tasked with shaping creation. Each archangel was given a specific purpose. Samael, who later adopted the name Lucifer, which is Latin for light-bringer, his role was to will power into the stars which would create life. Even in his early days, Lucifer was questioning the Presence authority, arguing that no one should have the right to determine their actions. This view ended up escalating into a full-scale rebellion where Lucifer fought against God's forces, which were his own brothers. His twin brother Michael ended up defeating him, putting an end to his rebellion. As a compromise, the Presence assigned Morningstar his own realm, a place furthest from the Presence, which would later become Hell. At first, his realm was nothing more than a barren landscape, but it revolved around Morningstar, transforming into a place for the damned. Morningstar became the ruler of Hell and the devil of the DC universe. During his time in Hell, he met Mazikeen, one of the daughters of Lilith, who would become his most loyal servant and companion, standing by his side until the very end. Morningstar ruled Hell for over 10 billion years, and eventually, he grew bored of his own existence. To alleviate his boredom, he shared some of his authority with local demons, forming a triad to govern Hell. After 10 billion years of ruling Hell, Morningstar decided to step down, but before leaving, he ensured that the key to Hell was passed on to someone else. This is when Dream, one of the Endless, ventured into Hell to confront Morningstar and rescue his lover. Morningstar saw this as the perfect opportunity. He handed the key to Hell to Dream, viewing him as a rival. However, this gift ended up becoming a heavy burden for Dream. Ruling Hell was notoriously difficult, so Dream passed the key to others, but this proved challenging as several powerful beings from various pantheons expressed their interest and offered Dream something in return. Ultimately, the Presence intervened and assigned two angels, Duma and Remiel, as the new rulers of Hell. Morningstar, now free from his duties, retired to Earth with Mazikeen and opened a piano bar in Los Angeles called Lux. His solitude was short-lived as an angel. Amenadiel visited him with a message from the Presence, tasking Morningstar with eliminating one of the voiceless gods. After completing the task, Morningstar demanded the letter passage from the Presence and set out to create his own universe. The Presence didn't like that and told him to cease his activities. This angered Morningstar even further, and in defiance, Morningstar split the gate to his universe across the world. This allowed anyone to enter and populate his new realm. He then revealed himself to the people and gave them one single command: to worship no one, not even him. Several beings showed interest in Morningstar's new realm, most notably the Basanos, a malevolent sentient tarot deck that attempted to conquer the realm but failed. Not long after this, the Presence had decided to abandon his throne and quit his own creation. Because of this, all of creation began to unravel. While Michael was super distraught by this, Morningstar remained indifferent at first, as he had his own universe outside of the Presence influence. However, he soon realized that the collapse of creation would affect his realm as well, forcing Morningstar to act. Together with his twin brother Michael and his daughter, he fought Fenris, an ancient being who sought to accelerate creation's destruction. Despite their efforts, Michael died in battle, transferring his immense power to Elaine, and Fenris was still not defeated. Before Morningstar and Elaine could even recover, another threat emerged. It was Lilith, rogue angel Sandalin, and a powerful ally named Baram. They gathered a massive army to destroy Heaven's throne, ensuring that the Presence could never return. Despite how much he hates his father, Morningstar led the combined forces of Heaven and Hell to defend the throne. Morningstar's army emerged victorious, and Michael's daughter Elaine ascended to the throne of Heaven. This is where she saw the Presence. He explained that he saw two different perspectives of reality and questioned if creation should be repaired or destroyed. In the end, he went for the third option, passing his creation to Elaine, believing she was more than capable and worthy of guiding the future. Following her victory, Elaine chose to reshape creation to her own image. Most notably, she removed Hell, believing that a certain someone has caused unnecessary suffering and conflict. Meanwhile, Lucifer Morningstar made his final decision. He would leave creation entirely. Before going, he visited his allies to bid them farewell. He eventually made his way to Elaine, and when she asked for his thoughts on her plan, he refused to listen. He said that godhood was her burden now, and that she can't rely on him for consultant. After parting ways with his brother's daughter, he made one last stop to see Mazikeen, his most loyal companion. Mazikeen, upon hearing his plan to leave everything behind, questioned why he insisted on doing this alone. Morningstar said that it was simply his nature. However, before leaving, he embraced her and gave her one final gift. He transferred all of his power and made her the the new Lightbringer. Surprisingly, Mazikeen didn't accept this so casually and said that he can't escape his past, so she struck him, scarring his face as a reminder that he was wrong and that she loves him. Morningstar had nothing in response and opened a gateway beyond existence itself. As Morningstar stepped through existence, he witnessed all of creation unraveling before him. After drifting in the void for what seemed an eternity, Morningstar stumbled upon a lone floating island with a small house resting on top of it. As he landed, he was surprised to encounter his old ops, Lilith and her squad. However, this version of them had not yet experienced their battle with him. They were from a time before their conflict. The Silkman was also there observing Morningstar with curiosity, but before the conversation could continue, the presence arrived. The moment he appeared, everybody but Morningstar fled, declaring that this conversation doesn't concern them anymore and that this is a family matter. While arriving, Yahweh expressed how happy he was to see Samael, but Morningstar replied saying that no matter where they were, their relationship remained the same. Yahweh asked if they could set that grievance aside to talk about something else for a moment. Morningstar wasn't going to let it slide, but he was willing to engage in conversation. A waitress, a green, faceless creature, approached and asked if they wished to order something. Yahweh requested a Darjeeling tea with lemon while Morningstar ordered nothing. Yahweh then revealed the true reason for their meeting. Yahweh offered to give Morningstar his thoughts and memories and experiences while Morningstar would give his in return. Morningstar asked if he was developing a sense of humor or if he thought he was talking to Michael because that had to be a joke. Why would he want to become Yahweh when he spent his entire life trying to escape his will? Yahweh clarified that they wouldn't become each other but rather two new beings, each possessing the knowledge of both. As they spoke, the island they stood on fell, and they continued their conversation in the air. Morningstar said the proposition sounded like death to him, but Yahweh insisted that it was life. Morningstar asked if this has always been his function. Yahweh replied saying that he had already escaped his function. Morningstar declared that his face and scar was his alone, so his final answer was no. If you guys want, I can make a video on Yahweh aka the presence and show what his point of view was like in all of this for those who are curious. After he said no, Yahweh respected his decision and wished him the best of luck in his journey, promising that they would never see each other again. That's kinda sad to be honest. It's literally your son. Lucifer Morningstar then flew into nothingness, gradually disappearing as he embraced the void. But yeah guys, that would be the end of this video. If you have any character or something that you want me to explain, then let me know down in the comments. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you on the next one.